G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tonight is update night, so I'm of course going to be talking about what's new in the update and why it's going to have a massive impact on FNCS this weekend. Also, we had a bunch of pros tweeting out today, hashtag raise the prize pool. A lot of people freaking out about the Fortnite prize pool. A lot of people in the community saying it's completely fair, the prize pool is terrible, and a lot of people saying that the pros are just being entitled, they're just spoiled, they're making way too much money as is. And I want to talk about this and give my take on whether I think the prize pool's good as it is and why Epic is doing what they are with the prize pool. Also, we had trio cash cups with some really notable performances to talk about. More specifically, Tayson, Noah Riley, and Aqua winning NA East. I mean, right now, it really does look like EU's on top. You guys know what time it is. It is update night. We had another update. Did we finally get the big map changes that I've been excited for, that we've been talking about all season? No. No, we didn't. We got Sludgy Swamp. What is Sludgy Swamp, you ask? It is Slurpy Swamp without the slurp water. That's the update. That was the entire update. Now, I'm gonna kind of go back and forwards here though, because even though we didn't get the crazy map changes that we were promised earlier in the season, like I want to know what happened to Tilted. Why was Tilted the logo for this entire season? Like we talked about this. This is a Fortnite character. These are Tilted buildings. We thought we were going to get Tilted back. We talked about everything at Coral Castle. Obviously, we now know what happened there, but we're 2 weeks away from the season ending. Nothing happened. If you go to Corny Complex right now, we've talked about Corny Complex being abducted. Nothing happened. And I'm actually okay with that now that it's so far into the season because FNCS is on. We have a week until FNCS Grand Finals. Have you been to Slurpy in the last few weeks? It is terrible. It is one of the worst drops on the map, if not the worst drops, and it is one of the worst POIs we've ever seen, and it's one of the worst map changes we've seen mid-season. So I know a lot of you guys in the comments are going to get mad at me. People always do. This is the one topic I'm always pretty negative on because I just don't know what Epic's doing right now. But not only am I now mad they didn't change anything, I'm mad they did change something. But hear me out. I have good reason. We have 5 to 6 weeks at the start of a new season. That is when map changes should be happening. Or better yet, the day of a new season. When a new season drops, that's when we should have the new map. That's when we should have the new season. Let pros learn, let them figure out the job spots, then kick off FNCS and don't change anything. We had the complete opposite. We had 6 weeks of no map changes when there was no tournaments and no FNCS. Then during FNCS, we've had Slurpy, one of the major POIs, just completely ruined. And it looks like we're going to have the same thing happen to Corny less than 3 days out from Grand Finals. So I was expecting Corny Complex to change in this update. I thought I was going to log in. It was all going to be floating. It was all going to be crazy. And it's clearly set to do so. We have a bunch of leakers posting photos of what Corny, what Corny looked like. We all thought there was just going to be no buildings. They are all still there, but not only is the map now changing a week out from FNCS, they're delaying those changes until like 3 days before finals. We have some of the biggest teams in the world. We have DGen Aegis Skittles set to go up against Colazo, Lazar P, and Trashy in the finals. And they're going to be fighting in the sky on floating rock buildings they've never seen before. Like, I thought the days were behind us of having massive changes right before big tournaments. Like going back to, I think, Season 8, wasn't it? When you had all the Liquid guys drop, completely ruined because of the volcano. But even then, that was fun for everybody else. At least like Arena was fun. The map change, it was cool. Not only are we ruining the competitive for pros, it's not making them more fun. Slurpy got less fun. It got worse. Not only are we not gaining any loot on the map, we're losing loot on the map. Like at this point, I'm really not even mad anymore. I'm just so confused. What is happening? What is Epic's direction? No one wants half the POIs to just turn into dirt craters in the ground. Like, it's literally sludgy swamps. It just sounds bad. Like, at this point, I don't know. I was really excited to talk to you guys about some map changes, but even if there were map changes right before finals, if they were crazy fun, crazy cool, and they made the last 2 weeks of the season way better, awesome. But I don't even think they're really achieving that. So I'm not just going to keep beating the dead horse here. I'm not just going to keep running this point home. I really hope next season we get a really reworked map, but I think it's fair to say most people in the community would agree. We want map changes, but we don't want it to affect competitive. So have it happen at the start of the season or during the first few weeks. Don't have no map changes and then ruin POIs for teams who've been practicing them all season less than 3 days out from Grand Finals. All right, so why was the hashtag raise the prize pool just ever all over Twitter today? Why were all the pros complaining? The prize pool didn't actually change, but what I think did it was we had a tweet from NA East Fortnite Report, and they tweeted out a table of all the top earners from the Trio Cash Cup this season. Now, I looked at this live on stream, and I'm not going to lie to you, when I first saw it, I thought it said 18,000, but no, the highest earner from the Trio Cash Cups this season in NA East is Commandment Sense and Edgy. They've made $1,835. That's it. Now, let me defend it. Let me talk about it. So I know some of you guys in the comments probably, maybe working for not a lot of money, maybe like $9, $10 an hour, and you think that might be a lot of money. And I get it. It still is. But that is the most amount of money a single player earned from the Trio Cash Cups, the main Cash Cup from this season. $1,800 in what is about a 3-month season. That is not a lot of money at all. 3 months. That's 12 weeks. They made a little over $100 a week from the Trio Cash Cups, and they are first. If you go down to the 10th most earned team, it's only $1,300. That's still top 10. If you're top 10 trios in NA East across the season for Cash Cups, that is ridiculous. And I want to talk about this because I always see a lot of esports people and a lot of people from other games being like, oh, Fortnite pros, they're so selfish. They just want more money. A lot of people like Reese Hub, who I really respect, saying it's due to, how big the prize pools used to be, giving people a really unsustainable, unhealthy viewpoint on how much money they should make. But this isn't a lot of money. Again, Fortnite is a different esport where anyone can show up and play on the day. That's why I love it. It's why the player skill level is so high. You don't need to join an org. You don't need to go to a boot camp. You don't need to fly around the world, play with a team, get a coach. None of that. You just literally get a friend, or if it's solos, jump on, play by yourself. But that also means there is nowhere near as much org support. Most of the pro players who are in orgs are getting next to no money comparative to other esports, or if they are, it's because they make content. If you're joining a good org, or you're a player who's doing really, really well, like a lot of people on this top 10 list, and you don't make content and you join an org, your salary is so low. You're depending almost entirely on the prize pool. And also, because you're not in an org, you're not in a team house, you're not getting your lunches and meals paid for, you don't have a chef. These are things that other esports like League of Legends, Valorant, Counter-Strike actually have. And again, I know the alternative for most of these guys is working in, retail or fast food or some kind of low paying job. Again, I did my hours as well. I started work when I was 14 years old, when you can in Australia. I worked in fast food, I worked in retail. So I know the price of working, and I know that playing Fortnite is more enjoyable than doing those things. But the fact that the prize pools have gone from what they used to be to now, where the best players in the world only make this amount of money, it's kind of scary for the future of Fortnite. I get this is more sustainable for Fortnite in the long run, and I fully understand why Fortnite has changed the prize pools, because why wouldn't they? They're getting the same amount of players playing for less money. I talked about this in a video recently. If you compare the player numbers playing this season, especially FNCS, compared to 2 seasons ago, which was a really big season in my opinion, they're pretty much identical, and the numbers are so much better than last season. So they've proven that what is going to dictate player participation is how good the season is and how fun the game is, not the prize pool. Lowering the prize pool by so much over such a long period of time really hasn't seen a huge decline in, participation in competitive. So it's just business. Why would Epic invest more money than they need to? That's not me saying pros should start boycotting or quitting the game, but until Epic starts to see a big decline in their player base, they're not really going to change things. But I wanted to address some of those points of people saying that pros are just entitled. Again, I don't play competitive Fortnite. I make all my money off content, and that's still going to be there regardless of the prize pool, because like I just said, people still watch, people still enjoy. Just because the season's good, it doesn't mean prize pool. So I've got no reason to try to side with the pros here. I really don't. I just agree with them that when you do the numbers and you compare it to other esports, it is pretty bad in Fortnite. FNCS is good, don't get me wrong. FNCS's grand finals is great, but if you play the entire season, something goes wrong, you don't make grand finals, like, Flick, Anas, Thomas HD, Threats, Jamper, and Rise, 2 phenomenal teams, their earnings this season is going to be so low. It's one of the main reasons why I think the player base on Fortnite is so young. A lot of people think it's about mechanics and being really good at the game, and that's definitely a factor, but I think it's the fact that if you're an adult, or if you're anyone with any level of responsibility, like rents, you have a partner, you need to actually start saving money to get a home loan, you can't rely on Fortnite Fortnite prize pools. They're just way too inconsistent, which moves to my next topic though. Fortnite content is a lot more popular than a lot of other esports. And I think that's where pros need to start making up the lack of prize pool from making content. A lot of these pros who place well in a tournament, if they make a video on that tournament, like Tayson, for example, is doing really well right now, they can quite often make more money from the video than what they did in the Cash Cup. Content is really good money. It's why I've always said that, yes, Fortnite pros, I get it. They don't like making content, but I always tell them, you're going to like it a hell of a lot more than working at McDonald's. And that's what a lot of your friends and a lot of your peers at your age are doing. It might not be super fun. You might want to just compete or go hang out with your friends, but do the hard hours, put an hour or two into just getting a channel editor, you know, getting the clips, putting it all together, even pay someone else. If the video makes $300-$400, pay an editor $50 to do the video for you. That's good for a lot of these editors. They'd be happy to do it. It takes you way less work, and now you make money. You really need to start investing into the content, because that is where the money comes from. And even if you don't do well in the tournament, you can still make content out of it. I remember talking to Jerian about this recently. Jerian is actually doing really, really well these days, placing very highly in tournaments, but some of his best videos, he did terribly. It was just about being smart with content. He had a good thumbnail, good title, the video was entertaining, and no one even cares that he didn't come top 10. While on the topic of Tayson and making content, I had to mention today, again, we had the Trio Cash Cups. I haven't been going into too much detail on the Trio Cash Cups because, again, when FNCS is on, they just don't feel as special, but they are still really good to watch. I always do viewing parties on my Twitch channel, and I do like to talk about some of the standout performances. And of course, if you're looking at Trio Cash Cups today, the first one has to be Tayson, Noah Riley, and Aqua. And again, they're not a new trio. They didn't split. I always get that question. They're playing FNCS this weekend. Aqua's playing with his team. Tayson's playing with his team. But they came first on NA East on 219 points, 15 points above second on NA East. Like, EU really does show up big on NA East tournaments, and especially Tayson right now. Tayson is just winning everything. We had Commandment Sense and Edgy come in third. They were 1 point off coming second, which, again, I know it's a bit of a meme. It's always interesting, but we had a lot of other EU players in the top 15, but for the most part, it really is just Tayson's team that is just absolutely dominating, or at least Tayson. I don't want to say Tayson's team because he does it with so many different people. Like, Tayson will just find two phenomenally good EU pros, sometimes even NA pros like Reed, and he'll pop off in tournaments. It seems to be the staple factor is always Tayson. He's just that good of an IGL. And I know I talk about how good Tayson is on this channel a lot, but my man is just winning everything. All right, guys, that does it for another video. Don't worry, the grand finals map drop spot breakdown is coming. It'll be in a few days. I just want to make sure all the teams have staked their claim on their drops, because every single day I wake up and a new team is swapped. So I want to at least leave it for a few days, make sure it settles, then I'll talk about it. But if you like today's video, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.